सुखदुःखसङ्गयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। श्रीभगवानुवाच ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानि इन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यद्वाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रमतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रमन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मान्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त चेतसः यदादित्या गतं तेजो जगद्भासते अखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धिमामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारायाम्यहमोजसा पूष्णामि चौषधिः सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षराक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्र यमाविश्य बिभर्त्याव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मात्यक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतीतः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेव असम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदम् उक्तं मया नघ एतद् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतश्च भारतः ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यानां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे श्रीपुरुषोत्तमयोगनामः पंचदशोऽध्यायः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। Thank you, Mataji, for giving this chance to read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Beautiful recitation.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुएव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद समस्त वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामचार्य दास ठाकुर जी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Good morning, dear devotees. I welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for this mid-morning session. Thank you all so much for joining. This is Shivani from Ashram, Virginia. Welcome you all for this mid-morning session. Let us move to the next part of the session. Today, Her Grace Kritida Sundari Mataji will be enlightening us on the series of Heart's Soul Aspiration, Yearning for Balgopal, Session 4. May I know who will have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Mataji.
Go ahead, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, 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 please accept my humble obeisances. All the glory to Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Harita, City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. Thank you for the beautiful recitation of chapter 15, Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji, I am Vandana. Please accept me. Humble obeisance.
Hare Krishna, Vandana Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association. Welcome to the call. Are you joining for the first time, Mataji?
No, I'm joined since 3 weeks over.
Oh, wonderful. Please keep giving us your association. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning. All grace to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear.
Anybody else would like to announce themselves? Introduce themselves, sorry. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. I would like to start by sharing a quote by Srila Prabhupada ji. Philosophy is the highest, but even higher than philosophy is the practice of philosophy. So if you simply remain pure, your preaching will have effect. Letter to Virapati, November 15, 1971. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Jaipur conference call. Today we're very fortunate to have her Grace Kritida Sundari Mataji. Mataji will be enlightening us on the series of Heart's Soul, Aspiration, Yearning for Balgopal, Session 4. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Kritida Sundari Mataji. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time and beautiful session this morning. Waiting eagerly to hear from Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Please take over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us today in this mid-morning session where we are discussing in detail Shri Damodarashtakam by Satyavrat Muni. So we will start now. Let's offer our prayers and then we'll go ahead. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shrirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालय कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमाभदिव्य छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते मुखं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपहातं हं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees. I seek all of your blessings, your prayers, your wishes, so that I can speak something relevant to this subject matter. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. And also I'll seek forgiveness from all of you today. My voice is not supporting. I have cough and cold, so really need your blessing so that I can speak something. So I'll share my screen. So this is the PowerPoint of Damodarashtakam. And before we begin, we will sing the the Pranam mantra for Shri Radha Damodarji. And then we'll go. So this is the Pranam mantra for Shri Radha Damodar. Anga Shamalima Chata Virabhito Mandi Kritendi Varam Jadyam Jagudarochisham Vidhatatam Pitpattambarasya Shriya Vrindaranya-vilasinam mridilasad Damabhiramodaram Radhaskanda-niveshitojjalabhujam Dhyaye-madamodaram. So we discussed this verse 1. We have discussed verse 2. We have discussed verse 3 of Shri Damodarashtakam. And today we will start with verse number 4. So in this fourth verse, let's see what Satyavrat Muni is saying. Varam deva moksham na moksham vadim va na chanyam vraneham areshadapiha. Idam te vapurnath gopal balam sada mimanasya virastam kimanye. I request anybody can volunteer and read the translation.
Mataji, shall I, Mataji?
Yeah, please go ahead.
O supremely effulgent and playful divinity, I do not ask you for freedom from mortal suffering, the fourth of human woes, nor do I ask for the ultimate limit of freedom, residence in Vaikuntha, the abode of extraordinary and concentrated happiness, nor do I seek any other benediction from you, even attaining bhakti characterized by Shravana, Kirtana, etc., even though, as the supreme benefactor, you can easily grant all benedictions. O Lord of my life, may your beautiful form as Balagopala, a little cowherd boy in Braja, always remain visible within my heart. I have no use for any benediction other than this. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. So now, up till now, we saw that Satyavrat Muni has been describing the sweet pastimes, the sweet and loving pastimes of Sri Krishna. And specifically, the pastimes which are characterized by Vatsalya Ras. because Satyavrat Muni is describing about the relationship or the reciprocation that Mother Yashoda had and Krishna had with Mother. So, seeing that Vatsalya Bhav of Mother Yashoda, now consequently, what is happening is Satyavrat Muni's heart is also is melting, seeing these beautiful pastimes. And it's so much so that he himself is getting absorbed in those pastimes. So he's saying, Krishna, you are not pleased with the prayers which are offered by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or various other demigods. Rather, you are pleased. You are pleased by those who sing your pastimes, and especially the pastimes that you have with the Vrajvasis. So you become controlled by those who sing your pastimes, who sing your glories, the pastimes that you have with your Vrajvasis. You are only controlled by them. So Satyavrat Muni is saying now, O Damodar, your mother has so much affection for you. And it is being noticed that normally the son carries the mood of his mother, and this daughter carries the mood of a father. So now this is not something very strict black and white rule, but normally it is being seen. So Satyavrat Muni is saying that, O Krishna, now I have been seeing the mood of Mother Yashoda. She has been your very favorite to an extent that she was able to bound you by her Vatsalya Prema. And she cares for you, she nurtures you, she is always thinking about you. And she also considers that as if you are a dependent child. So Mother Yashoda thinks that, oh, if I don't take care of my Krishna will be left behind. If I don't feed him, he will starve. If I don't dress him, he will like a homeless beggar. So with that mood, she nurtures, she nourished Krishna, and she provides all that is needed. So this is the quality of a mother. Now he's saying this mother also has a quality. What another quality? The quality of forgiveness, the quality of compassion. So now Satyavrat Muni is holding on to this point that how the son carries the mood of a mother. So he's saying because your mother is the ever well-wisher, so you are also the ever well-wisher. You are Suhrit Sarva Bhutanam. And she also carries the mood of forgiveness and compassion. So, O Krishna, you also carry the mood of forgiveness and the mood of compassion. So, clinging on to that thought, now Satyavrat Muni is saying that because you are being carried by the mood of compassion and forgiveness, now I pray to you to please take away all my anarthas and just grant me your causeless mercy. Now, here we know that Krishna was very pleased with Satyavrat Muni. And Krishna said, oh yes, Satyavrata, I'm very much pleased the way you have glorified my childhood pastimes, the way you have glorified those who sing my childhood pastimes. I'm very much pleased with you. So yes, without any reservance, without any reservation, without any fear, you can ask whatever you have, whatever desired boons you have, you please ask, and now I will bestow everything on you. So Krishna is giving this assurance to Satyavrat Muni. And Satyavrat Muni here, he starts off. He says, yes, Varam Deva. So he starts this verse, Varam Deva. Varam means the benedictions, and Deva means, oh, supremely effulgent and playful divinity. So Deva here means that you are the supremely effulgent divinity. Or you can also say, because he is in that mood of Vrajbhav, so he's saying, oh Lord, though you are Deva. Why? Because you always loves to perform certain charming pastimes. Therefore, you are Deva. So he's saying Varam Deva. Now we know that Krishna is also known as Varadaraj. Why he is known as Varadaraj? Because he gives all benedictions that is desired by the devotee of Krishna who worships him, who loves him. So he is known as Varadaraj. So seeing that now, because Krishna himself is asking that, oh Satyavrat Muni, I'm very much pleased by you. You ask whatever you want, you ask. So he's calling Krishna, yes, you are Varadaraj, you are Varam Deva. You can give any kind of benediction. So Satyavrat Muni is praying, oh Bhagwan, you are the original Lord of all lords, and you are the source of everything. Therefore, you are capable of granting all benedictions. That's why you are very boldly proclaiming that, oh Satyavrat, ask whatever you want. Nothing is impossible for you. You can give anything, whatever somebody asks for you. So considering that, Satyavrat Muni is starting this prayer, the fourth stanza of Damodarashtakam, by saying, Varam Deva, you can give any benedictions, you can grant all benedictions, and nothing is impossible for you. There is nothing that is impossible for you. So this is how Satyavrat Muni is praying. Okay, 1 minute, something happened. Are you all able to see the screen, right?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Perfect. So now he's saying that before you go ahead and give me any benediction, O Krishna, let me specify you what I don't want. So first he starts with all the negatives. And he says, Moksham na moksham vadhim va. He says, Oh Krishna, I don't want any kind of moksha from you. What is moksha? So moksham, we'll go with the word by word. So moksha means which is emancipation from the sufferings of transient existence. So we know that there are 4 kind of goals, 4 kind of purusharthas. The one is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. These are the 4 kind of purusharthas that everybody long for. So this moksha means liberation from this cycle of birth and death, which is the 4th ultimate goal of human life. But we devotees, we reject all these 4 purusharthas and we aim for the 5th purushartha, that is Krishna Prem, the ultimate goal, the love of Godhead. So he's saying moksham na. I don't want moksham. So this word na is for moksham also and for moksham avadhim also. So he's saying na moksham. I don't want mukti. I don't want moksha. I don't want to get liberated from this cycle of birth and death. Okay. Then he says na moksham avadhim. Na moksha avadhim. Avadhi means the highest pinnacle of moksha. So one moksha is that you are liberated from this cycle of birth and death. Once you are liberated from this cycle of birth and death, you can go anywhere. You can go to Brahma Jyoti, because that is also beyond this cycle of birth and death, where there is no miseries, no sufferings. And he says that Vaikuntha, if somebody attains Vaikuntha, well, that is the pinnacle of salvation. That is the pinnacle, the highest stage of getting liberated. He says, na, I don't want moksham avadhim also. I don't want the pinnacle of salvation, that is residence in your Sri Vaikuntha Loka. I don't want that also. So this words na, it applies to both moksham also and moksha avadhim also. It applies to both. So he says, I don't want that. So later, Sanatana Goswami explains what is mukti. He says, and from Sankhya Shastra, he takes out and he says, Atyantiki dukkha nivrittireva mukti. Atyantiki dukkha means the highest amount of dukkha that one can get, and that is in this material world. Once that suffering is reduced, is zero, is boiled down to zero, that place is known as beyond this place of birth and death. That place is beyond this material existence. And that is what is known as mukti. The final cessation of all forms of misery suffered during the endless cycle of birth and death is mukti. Now, when we leave this present body, in one sense, we achieve mukti from this body. Like if somebody is very ill, right? And the person is really on deathbed. He's not able to get up also, even to answer the nature calls. Everything is on the deathbed. Everything is on the bed. So we say कि भगवान करे इसकी मुक्ति हो जाए, means he should get rid from this body. because the soul is suffering so much in that body. But that is not what Satyavrat Muni is talking about, or that is not what the real mukti is. Once you get rid of this body, you will immediately get another type of body, as per the desires you have while leaving the body. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, we know from Bhagavad Gita. So that is not the mukti. The real mukti is when you don't get another body, you don't enter into the womb of any 8,400,000 species of life. That is the mukti. So final cessation of all forms of misery, any form of, whether it is adhyatmic, adhidaivik, or adi bhautik, any kind of mukti, that misery that one suffer during this endless cycle of birth and death. That's why Prabhupada says, from time immemorial, we are here. Because we are always re-entering into the womb of another species of life. But once who get rid of this is known as mukti. So we know that there are 5 kinds of mukti. We'll quickly go through these slides because we all know this. So it is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Yadyapi se muktahaya pancha prakara salokya samipya sarupya sashti sayujya ara. So there are 5 kinds of mukti. So what are those 5 kinds of mukti? One is sayujya mukti. So as I told that once you go back from this material existence, then you enter the Brahma Jyoti. And that Brahma Jyoti is also regarded as mukti. Why? Because in this mukti, you merge into the impersonal feature of Brahma. So that is known as Sayujya Mukti. You go to Brahma Jyoti platform. So that is also a mukti, means you don't have the return ticket. You don't go and with the return ticket, you go, but one side only, you go. And that is what is mukti. So this is the merging of the impersonal feature of Brahma. That is why this entering into the impersonal Brahman is also regarded as mukti or sayujya mukti. But this mukti is actually opposed to bhakti. Why? Because there is no active service that one can perform, and there is no active reciprocation with the Supreme Lord. So that is sayujya mukti. But there are other muktis like sarupya, having the form the same as the Lord, or salukya, that grants the residence on the same planet as that of the Lord. Then samipya, that is living as a personal associate of the Lord. And finally sashti, achieving the same opulence as that of the Supreme Lord. So these are the 5 kinds of mukti. But unlike sayujya mukti, rest 4 of the mukti are not entirely unfavorable to bhakti. Okay. Only in sayujya mukti, this mukti is very, very unfavorable. It is rather opposed to bhakti. But rest of all the 4, having the same form, having the same residence, being a personal associate, or having the same opulence, they are not 100% unfavorable to bhakti. Because if somebody performs bhakti and he lands up to the same Vaikuntha planet as that of the Lord, then definitely he will get the form of the Lord. He will get to stay with the Lord. He will become the personal associate of the Lord. And definitely he will achieve the same opulence of that of the Lord Narayan. So these 4 are not entirely unfavorable to bhakti. But he says, I don't want. Satyavani prays. He first of all disregards this Sayujya Mukti by saying, Na moksha. And na moksham vadhimva. But he also says that I don't want any other type of mukti also, where I go and land up in your Vaikuntha planet, which is the ultimate freedom. I don't want that also. So Shri Bhagavan says, okay, Satyavrat Muni, I do understand that you don't want any kind of mukti. Moksham na moksham vadimva. You don't want mukti and you don't want even the highest pinnacle being achieving Vaikuntha planet also you are rejecting. So he says that actually those who accept these 4 kinds of mukti, they exist within the realm of Vaikuntha. So this we have to understand, that what happens when we come and desire this avadhi, moksha avadhi, that is getting the realm of Vaikuntha. So there also there are two classifications. Who reaches this Vaikuntha? The first is known as Swasukha Aishwarya Uttara Moksha. Swasukha means those who desire their own happiness and opulence. So in their mind, they want that, oh, I should get some happiness. I should get rid of the misery. I should get the same opulence of that, the Lord. So that is known as Swasukha Aishwarya. Sukha means happiness, Aishwarya means opulence. Uttara Moksha, and that predominates in the mind of a devotee. So that is the one type of Mokshavadi, means the highest pinnacle of reaching the Vaikuntha planet. In that also there are two classifications. So first is Swasukha Aishwarya Uttara Moksha, where the desire of one's own happiness and opulence predominates. But there is another, that is Prema Seva Uttara Moksha. Prema Seva Uttara Moksha means the longing to render service to Bhagwan predominates. Okay? So there are two. One is my desire to achieve happiness, get rid of misery, and achieve happiness and the opulence of the Lord. That is Swasukha. But Prema Seva Uttara Moksha means that one's longing to render devotional service or loving service to Bhagwan predominates. But Satyavrat Muni says, I don't want any of this. Why he is rejecting even the Prema Seva Uttara Moksha? Because in Prema Seva, you render some service. There is a reciprocation. There is some active service involved for the Supreme Lord. But he says, I reject even that. Why? Because Shuddha Bhaktas, they have one-pointed attention for the loving service of Krishna. They do not even aspire from Prema Seva Uttara Moksha. Why? Because there is some tinge of desire is there for one's own happiness. That maybe the percentage may be little, but still the desire for one's own happiness still remains. See, in Swasukha Aishwarya, the desire is fully to get the same happiness and opulence. But in Prema Seva Uttara, yes, the desire for serving Sri Bhagavan predominates. All other desires means maybe 80% I want to serve, but still that 20% or maybe the 10% or maybe the 1% is still there for my own happiness. And that is why one ends up going to Vaikuntha planets. So therefore, Satyavrat Muni is saying, Moksham to chahiye nahi. I don't want any kind of mukti. Neither moksha avadhimva. I don't want even the highest pinnacle of moksha, of landing over Vaikuntha, because there I might have a slightest desire of having my own happiness. My own happiness may still remain when I go to Vaikuntha planet. Maybe 99% of my mind is only of rendering service to you, but that 1% will still be there. Therefore, he says, I want to reject that. And our Sanatan Goswami quotes from Kapila Muni, where he says, Salokya sashti samipya sarupya katvam api uta diyamanam nagrananti vinamat sevanam jana. Where he says, a pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, whether it is salokya, whether it is sashti, whether it is samipya, sarupya or ekatva, means sayujya. Even though Diyamanam, even though the Supreme Lord himself gives this, Nagrananti, the devotee will never accept. Because all these, if all these are given, Vina mat sevanam jana, if there is no seva involved, then the devotees reject that. Because 100% the devotees want that I should only and only be in service of you. Not even 1% or 0.1% should be there in my heart where I long for my own happiness. So when Sri Bhagavan himself offers to Shuddha Bhaktas these moksha, they will not accept it. Therefore, Bhagavatam says, Diya manam na grananti. Even though if I give, but my Shuddha Bhakta will never accept it. So, moksham na moksham adim va. Now, in the next, Sanatan Goswami gives the examples. He gives the examples of devotees who reject all varieties of moksha. And the very first and the classic example that Sanatan Goswami in his Digdarshini Thika mentions is of Vritrasura. He says, Vritrasura actually prays. What he is praying? Nanaka prishtam na cha parameshtyam na sarva bhauma narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va samanjasa tva virahaya kangshe. So what Satyavrat Muni, Sanatan Goswami is saying by quoting the example of Vritrasura, that Vritrasura is praying to the Supreme Lord. We know this pastime of Vritrasura, how Indra, holding on to his thunderbolt, is not able to attack Vritrasura. And Vritrasura is saying, Oh Indra, why are you wasting your time? This thunderbolt is made up of the bones of Dadichi Muni. Understand his sacrifice. He sacrificed his life just to make this thunderbolt, just to make this Vraja, this Vajra, sorry, not Vraja, this Vajra. He has sacrificed his life. He has given you his bones so that you can make this Vajra, so that you can kill me. Now, why are you hesitating, throwing this thunderbolt on me? And then he says, no use. This Indra is a foolish character, okay? I'm no more relying on this Indra. Anyway, he will throw because this I'm destined to kill. But before that, let me offer my prayers to the Supreme Lord. And Vritrasura offers these 4 beautiful prayers. I should say these are the best prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says, Nanaka Prishtam, oh Krishna, I don't want the heavenly planets. So Naka means planets, semi-planets. And even in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been mentioned Nakapala. What does mean the Nakpala? Means those who are controller of these heavenly planets. So Vritra is saying, Nanaka Prishtham. I don't want those heavenly planets. I don't want that Dhruvaloka also, which is considered to be the Bhauma Vaikunta. I don't want that also. Nacha Parameshtyam. I don't want the planet where the Supreme Lord Brahma resides. Forget about the heavenly planets which are in the lower realm. I don't want even the planet of Brahmaloka. Na sarva bhaumam, neither I want the rain, I don't want to become I don't want the sovereignty of the entire earthly planetary system. Sarva bhauma means this earth. I don't want to rule over this entire, the earth planet also. Na sarva bhaumam, na rasadhipatyam. Rasa adhipatyam. You become the patyam, means you become the controller of the lower planetary system. So he says, I don't want rasadi, means I don't want atala, vitala, sutala, talatal, mahatal, and rasatal. I don't want any of the lower planetary system. I don't want to be the controller. Na yoga siddhi, neither I want the 8 kinds of mystic yogic power that somebody can have, like amnima, lagima, mahima. I don't want any of that. Apunam bhavam. Apunam bhavam means, bhava means this material world. I don't want apuna bhavan, means I don't want liberation. Punha bhava means coming back to this material world. Apuna bhava means don't come back. Apuna, negate. I don't want apuna bhava, means neither I want liberation. That you give me liberation, you say, okay, don't come back to this material world, and so be it. Then Krishna says, okay, what do you want? What do you want, Vritrasura? Then Vritrasura actually says, I don't want any of this. Oh, Samanjasa, you are the source of all opportunities. basically, I don't want to get separated from you. तो आप विरह या कांक्ष है. I don't want to be separated from you. All these things are okay till the time I am in your devotional service. But all these things I reject completely if I am not in the service of you. So this is the prayer of Vritrasura. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka the heavenly planets or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be the master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. So I don't want anything, because what I want is I don't want to give up your lotus feet. Samanjasa to virahaya kankshe. I don't have any desire to experience your viraha, to be separated from you. Therefore, I don't want any of these things. And the same verse is also repeated by the Nagapatnis. So there are few verses in Srimad Bhagavatam which are repeated. And among those few verses, this is one of the verse that was repeated in the 10th canto by Nagapatnis. Na nakaprishtam, na cha sarvabhaumam, na parameshtyam, na rasadhipatyam, na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va. Only the last line changes. Vanchanti ye pad raja prapanna. That those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet, they don't want any of these. So this is also, Nagapatnis are also saying the same rule, the same principle. They are quoting the same verse, that just like the pure devotees, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet, they never hanker for Nakaprishtam or Sarvabhauma or Parameshtam, na Rasadhipatyam, na Yoga Siddhir, Apunarbhavam va. They don't want all this. Why? Because they have experienced the dust of your lotus feet. So now he's saying, okay, you don't want moksha. You don't want moksha vadhim. But Satyavrat Muni doesn't stop. He says, na chanyam. Kuch aur bhi nahi chahiye. I don't want anything else. Na cha anyam. Cha anyam means another benedictions. I don't want all other benedictions also. But Sanatan Goswami in his Digdarshini Tika mentions that what is the meaning of cha anyam? Matlab koi aur whatever, what else benediction also you don't need? Tell me. Then he says the benedictions that one get after performing the Navabada Bhakti. I don't want even that. So when you perform Navavida Bhakti, that is Shravanam, Kirtanam, you get certain results out of that by performing these Navavida Bhakti. Now, Satyavrat Muni is saying, Nachanyam, I don't want even the results of my Navavida Bhakti. That also I don't want. So, Sanatan Goswami then he comments, he says, Vaidi Nava Bhakti is, first we know, Shravanam, hearing about the Lord. Kirtanam is chanting, Vishnu Smaranam is remembering him, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam. Means, Sakyam and Atma Nivedanam. Means, Padasevanam is serving his lotus feet, Archanam is worshiping him, Vandanam is praising him, Dasyam is maintaining the attitude of serving him, Sakyam is nurturing a friendship with Krishna, and Atmanivedam is finally submitting one's very self to him. So all these Navavida Bhakti, when somebody performs, one do get the results of performing these Navavida Bhakti. Now, this Satyavrat Muni is saying, I don't want the results also of this Navavida Bhakti. The ninefold, Krishna says, actually, the ninefold system of devotional service has been abundantly praised in the scriptures. That one should perform. We all know, we have read from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prahlad Maharaj is actually quoting this verse, that we should perform this Navavida Bhakti. And Krishna is saying that the results of this Navabhakti Bhakti has been abundantly praised in the scriptures. Yet you do not want this also? Then what do you want, Satyavrat Muni? Just tell me, open your heart. What do you want? Because Krishna, he remembers that how Satyavrat Muni actually in the previous verse, in the third verse where he says, Tadayaishi tajneshu bhaktir jitatvam punha prema tastam sata vrishat shata vriti vande. Where he says, oh, I want to pay my obeisances thousands and thousands of times. And there Satyavrat Muni says, I want to perform this one of the limb of bhakti, which is Vandanam. I want to exclusively perform this bhakti. So Sat Krishna is saying, oh Satyavrat Muni, in the third verse you yourself said that you want to perform that Vandanam. And somebody is performing that Navavita Bhakti, definitely they will be entitled to get the results also. But now he's saying that I do not want even this also. I do not want, this is also not desirable. Then Krishna is confused. Krishna says, Kya chahiye? What do you want? Come up with your truth sense. What do you want? So actually this has been reconciled very nicely by Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami says that this Navavida Bhakti is also performed in two ways. Okay. So one way of performing this Navavada Bhakti is through Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and another is through Ragamarg, through Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So we have all done this in detail through Madhurya Kadamini, Nectar of Devotion. Srila Rupa Goswami mentions that how this Navavada Bhakti, actually when somebody gets the fruit of one's own practice of Navavada Bhakti, that actually depends upon our own sadhana. How we are performing Shravanam, how we are performing Kirtanam, how we are performing the other limbs. But all these limbs, he says, I don't want. He says, I don't want all this. Why? Because this depends on my own way. How I practice, I will achieve it. So this is as per the Vaidhi Marg, or following the strict scriptural regulations, rules and regulations, or you can say scriptural injunctions. So when somebody perform this Navavida Bhakti, and they perform with strict rules and regulations through Vaidhi Marg, oh Krishna, that will again lead to Vaikuntha. So yes, I was praying for Vandanam, but not through Vaidhi Bhakti. Because the same Navavida Bhakti can also be performed through Ragamarg, the path of spontaneous love. Because that result will help the sadhaka to reach the highest abode of Vrindavan, where they can act or where they can engage in the loving and the divine service of the Supreme Lord. So I hope you all are with me, that how he is rejecting the results of Navavada Bhakti performed through Vaidhi Marg. Because he is saying, if I perform this Navavida Bhakti, which is glorified in the scriptures, but if I perform through Vaidhi Marg, I will end up in Vaikuntha, Krishna, and I don't want that. And Krishna says, what do you want? And he says, Vareham Vareshadapiha, idam te vapurnatha gopal balam sadame manasya virastam kemanye. So last two lines is actually, first two lines says that Satyavrat Muni is rejecting. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. But when Krishna got really on to Satyavrat Muni that what do you want? Come up. Then Satyavrat Muni says, Vraneham Vareshadapiha, idam te vapurnatha gopal balam sadame manasya virastam kemanye. Then he says, Vareham, O Varadev, O Varadaraj, what I want, I'm praying for you who was Varaishat, you are Varadaraj, you are the supreme controller who can give, you are the Ishvara, you are the supreme controller of giving all kind of varas, all kind of benedictions. So Vrine means I pray, very humbly I pray, aham. I pray. What I pray? First again, he's saying you are Vareshad, means you are the supreme controller. And you can give all benedictions. Vareshad api. Api means although you are giving all kind of benedictions, still I don't pray whatever I have mentioned. But I pray what I'm telling you now. Iha. Iha means here. Here means in this Vraj Dham. Because Satyavrat Muni, in his meditation, is seeing the beautiful Vraja pastimes. So he's saying, Iha, in this Vraja, in this Vrindavan, Idamte, this Vrindavan, this form, Vapu, Idamte Vapu, this form of yours. What form? Though you are not, you are the supreme controller, but your form as Gopala Balam, your form as a young cowherd boy, may always, sada, always, may manifest in my heart. Manasya avirashtam should always manifest in my heart. Kimanya, what is the use of any other benediction? Because now I have achieved Goloka Vrindavan, which is higher than Vaikuntha. What is higher than Goloka Vrindavan? Nothing. So there is no other benediction, no other need, nothing. I don't want anything, but I only want that you being the Nath, you being the supreme controller, and you being the supreme controller who can grant any benediction. I pray only to see your Vapu, your body, your form as Balgopal, and that too in my heart. And not once, not twice, but always. Sadame, it should always manifest in my heart, this form of your Balgopal. So this is the prayer that Satyavrat Muni is praying. So previously Satyavrat Muni was saying that, yes, I want this Vandanam, but now he has offered his special prayer. And this special prayer is actually because now he has become a Raganuga Bhakta. Previously, he may be a Vaidhi Bhakta, but now he has become Raganuga Bhakta. And therefore, he is desiring that this form of yours as Bal Gopal, uski spurti honi chahiye, means it should always manifest in my heart. And that spurti actually will never happen without the mercy of the Supreme Lord. This we have to understand. The spurati, the Supreme Lord manifesting in the heart of a devotee, happens only by the mercy of Sri Bhagavan. It has no control over one's own sadhana, no matter how much one try. Because that emotions, even in Madhurya Kadambini also we were discussing, that somebody may starts with Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, and may do Anartha Nivritti, may come to the level of Nishtha, then comes to the level of Ruchi, then Asakti. Yes, till the time we are on Asakti, we have our own some control. Definitely that Kripa is needed, that mercy is needed even from the very first stage of Ado Shraddha. But till Asakti, some endeavor on our part is required. But to get Bhav and Prem is only entirely on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So therefore Satyavrat Muni is saying that such a spurati of your form as Bal Gopal cannot happen just like this. It will happen only and only by your mercy. And therefore I am praying to you that you give me that mercy so that your form may always manifest in my heart as Bal Gopal. So Satyavrat Muni is saying, may your form as a little cowherd boy, which is present here, idam, here, in Vrindavan, in this place, may appear within my heart. I have no need for any other benedictions besides this. So then, yes, our scriptures have time and again also proclaimed that if we want to go to the place of Golok Vrindavan, then we have to follow the Rag Marg. That Rag Marg is very important. Through Vaidhi Marg, one ends up only and only in Vaikuntha planet. But only and only through Rag Marg that one can achieve the highest goal, that is Golok Vrindavan. It's only and only through Rag Marg. But how to develop that Rag Marg? How to develop that Ragatmika Bhakti, that Raganuga Bhakti? That Raganuga Bhakti can only be obtained when we follow the Ragatmika Bhakta. See, just pay little attention. So, Raganuga. Raga means attachment. Attachment to whom? Attachment to the Supreme Lord Krishna, not the worldly attachments. So, Raga, Anuga. So, we have to follow. Anuga means to follow. We have to follow those who have that rag for Krishna, who have that attachment to Krishna. So, we have to become Raga Anugas. But who will have the attachment to Krishna? Who will have that rag for Krishna? Only the Ragatmika Bhakta, jinki Atma us rag mein ram gayi ho. Means their whole, through their mind and body and soul, they are totally absorbed in the attachment of Krishna. Where the Aishwarya of Krishna doesn't bother them. And that can only happen in the heart of Vrajvasis. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. It's only the Vrajvasis who have that Ragatmika Bhakti towards Krishna. So if somebody follows those Ragatmika Bhaktas and become Raganugas, can land up in Raganuga Bhakti, which can help us to achieve the destination of Golok Vrindavan. So such a devotion, so if we follow Vaidhi Bhakti, we are dependent on certain rules and regulations, and it will land up in Vaikuntha. On the other hand, this Raganuga Bhakti is entirely independent because it is spontaneous love. No kind of Aishwarya can bring down the bhakti that the Vrajvasis are carrying in their heart for Krishna. But then Sanatan Goswami points out that, okay, you want this Raga Bhakti, you want this Prema Bhakti, but can this Bhakti, can this Raganuga Bhakti that you are performing, because when you perform a Raganuga Bhakti, when you perform or you follow a Ragatmika Bhakta, how do you follow? Through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam only. You will follow a Ragatmika Bhakta only. But should it be performed whimsically? No. It's not that if I have a mood of that Vatsalya Bhav towards Krishna, then yes, I have to follow a Ragatmika Bhakta who have that Vatsalya Bhav. That is Nand Maharaj or Mother Yashoda. But that doesn't mean I may whimsically go and study the pastimes of Yashoda or Nand Maharaj or dive into their mood. Can I do it whimsically? No. So Sanatan Goswami is pointing out here that this Prema Bhakti, this Ragatmika Bhakti can only be achieved under the guidance of Tattvagna Rasik Vaishnavas. Those who have that rag towards certain degree, only they can bestow that ras, that rag, that attachment, that asakti to us. So we have to follow this Prema Bhakti, because this Prema Bhakti is only going to lead us to Golok Vrindavan. But it should not be whimsically performed. It should be performed under the guidance of Tattvagna Rasika Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas who have realized the absolute truth and who are expert themselves in relishing emotions. And therefore, Shri Updeshamrita, our Rupa Goswami, he writes, Tam Nam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smritayo Kramena Rasanama Nasini Yojya Tishtan Vraje Tadanuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayad Akhilam Iti Ubdesha Saram. So he's saying the Saram, the essence of all the Updeshas, of all the instructions is that you have to glorify. You have to glorify the holy name, Tat Nama, you have to glorify his Naam, his Roop, his Charita, his pastimes. You have to discuss nicely. And how? Anusmritya, Taradi Sankirtan, you have to do Sankirtan also. But how? Anusmritya, you have to follow. Anusmritya means that you have to follow somebody. You have to remember, but how? Kramena rasana, through gradually when your tongue start reciting the Naam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. But then how? Then you have to follow rasana, manasi niyoja. You have to follow. Follow whom? That ragatmika bhakta, who has this rag. But then how? Tishthan vraja. You have to stay in vraja. You have to stay in Vrindavan. Tad anuragi jana. Those who have that rag, you have to anugami. You have to follow those janas. You have to follow. You have to not imitate, but you have to follow them. Those who have that anurag. And this way, when you perform this bhakti, that is actually the raganuga bhakti that you follow. And it should be performed under the guidance of Tattvagna Rasik Vaishnavas. So the essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time. Khale nayad akhilam. You have to utilize your own time. And this time, Rupa Goswami mentions, means 24 hours a day, 365 days of an year. And how you do it? Nicely chanting, remembering the transcendental divine name, form, quality, and eternal pastimes, and thereby gradually engaging your rasana, your tongue, and your mind, and your manasa in the transcendental form of that Supreme Lord. And in this way, one should reside in Vraja, Gokula, Vrindavan Dham, Tishthan Vraja. And you then just reside? No. You reside, then you do all these Shravanam, Kirtanam, and then you serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. Tad anuragi jana anugami. You have to follow those anurag janas, those ragatmika bhaktas, those who are staying in that vraja. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Only then you will be attained this prema bhakti. And this prema bhakti is also prayed by Vritrasur again in the next shloka where he says, Mamottama shloka janeshu sakyam samsara chakre brahmata swakarmabhi tvanmaya atmatmajadaragaishav asakta chittasya nanatha bhuyat. Very beautifully praying. Oh Krishna, I have been wandering in this 14 planetary system and I'm having this asakti and thinking that, oh, this is mine, my body, my children, my wife, my home. I'm so much attached to this. But oh Krishna, and I know that I have samsara chakra brahmata. I have been wandering in these 14 planetary systems and I'm not blaming you, Krishna. Swakarma bhi. It's my own karma only that I have been doing this. But enough of it. Enough of it, Krishna. I don't want. Now I want is mamottama shloka janeshu sakhyam. I want the friendship of your janas, those who glorify you. Why? Uttama Shloka is the name of Krishna. So he says, I want your Janas association of your devotees who have that rag for you. Oh my Lord, oh Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment for my body, wife, children, home is continuing by the spell of your Atmaja, your Maya Atmaja, your external energy. But still, I don't blame you because it is because of my karma. which I wish to be attached to them no longer. I don't want to get attached to them any longer. Let my mind and my consciousness and everything that I have be attached only to you. This is Prema Bhakti. This is Prema Bhakti that Vritrasur is praying. Then comes Ragatmika Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami also says, Krishnam smaranam janam jasya prishtham nija samhitam tat tat katha ratascha kuryad vasam vraje sada. The devotees should constantly remember Shri Krishna along with the dear associates of Shri Krishna. So it should not be whimsically performed. Whom he chooses to follow while permanently living in Vraja, he should become attached to always hearing about them. But there Rupa Goswami also mentions, if one is unable to live in Vraja by body, then one should live in Vraja by mind. So yes, we all are so unfortunate. Because of some or the X or Y reason, we are here in US where we don't have the opportunity to enter into Vrindavan Dham. But here, Rupa Goswami in his Nectar of Devotion is giving us that yes, if you are unable to stay in Vrajdham through your body, then at least you should stay in Vrajdham through your consciousness, through your mind, which is only attached to Vrindavan. And then he says, Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi, tad bhava lipsuna karya vraja lokanusmritaha. That what you have to do, there he who has developed greed for that ragatmika bhakti should closely follow in the footsteps of a particular associates in Vraja, whose moods he aspire for. Under their guidance, he should engage in the service, both in his seva, sadhaka, and his siddha rupena, either in his external form as a sadhaka and his internally and his perfected spiritual body. So devotee should meditate on the associates of the Lord Shri Krishna only in Vraja, in Vraj Bhav, in Vraj Mandal. So now those who suppose aspire for the mood of friendship, they should follow the footsteps of his companions like Sudam, Subala, Madhumangal. Those who desire to have personal affection as parents should follow Sri Nanda, Sri Mother Yashoda. And those who follow the conjugal love, becoming the Sahachari of Radha or becoming the maidservants of Srimati Radharani or Shri Krishna, they should follow Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi or Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Naina Manjari, Lavanga Manjari. All these moods one should develop. And according to their mood, they should immerse themselves in the pastimes of Shri Krishna and try to live in Vraja, if not physically, at least consciously through one's mind. So therefore here Satyavrat Muni is saying, I want that Ragatmika Bhakti. And therefore I am praying to you, Krishna, that please may your form of this Balgopal may ever manifest in my heart. But now it's already 12, but I'll take 15-20 minutes more because I want to complete this section. I know this was a longer section. Because now the question comes, why Manasya Virastam? Because on one hand, he's saying that you are Vardharaj. You are Vareda Ishadapiha, that you can give all benedictions. Then I could ask, right, that let's meet face to face. But why is Satyavrat Muni saying Mana Virashtam means you should appear or you should manifest only in my mind? Why it is so? So before I go ahead with this, I want one volunteer to be with me so that we can make it little interactive. I don't want all of you, but any one of you can raise your hand who can promise to stay with me next 3-4 slides. Because I know you must be doing some of your jobs. Okay, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Perfect. So Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, thank you so much for volunteering to be with me. Now I want to ask you this question. That do you want to have Sakshat Darshan of Krishna or no?
Yes, Mataji, why not? If we get a
Perfect.
chance to see Krishna.
Yes, why not? Very nice. If we get a chance to see Krishna face to face, why not? But I want you, Mataji, to stay here at least for next 3-4 slides. And then I'll come back to you and I'll ask you again. So
Mataji.
Satyavrat Muni is saying why Sanatan Goswami is asking this question, that he is on one hand saying that you are Vardharaj, you can give me any benediction. But why this Satyavrat Muni is asking, just like Vinita Gandharvika Mataji said, I would have asked that, oh, please appear before me, Krishna, face to face, come before me. I long for that darshan of yours. So why he is saying Manasya Virashtam? And to this, then Sanatan Goswami, Satyavrat Muni says, I will only experience the greatest bliss if your Balgopal form, the crown jewel of all beauty, remains forever manifest in my heart, not otherwise. So why not physically come in front of my eyes? Then Sanatan Goswami actually mentions. He brings this point of antar darshan, glories of beholding Sri Bhagavan within the heart. And this comes in the Uttarakhand of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. We know the pastime where this Gop Kumar, he was going from one planet to another. And finally he reached Tapaloka, where he met one of the Navayogendras, son of Rishabdev. We know that Rishabdev have 100 sons. And out of those 100 sons, 9 became the Navayogendras. And of those Navayogendras, one was Pipalayana Rishi, who talks to Gop Kumar. And Pipalayana Rishi is asking Gop Kumar, why do you want to leave this exalted realm and go somewhere else? Why you are roaming and trying to see Lord here and there? That Supreme Lord who cannot be seen with material eyes. Because to see the Supreme Lord, you need the eyes, the divine eyes. That's why this Divya Chakshu was granted even to Arjun. Because Krishna says, oh Arjun, you cannot behold my form only with this material eyes. So you need that Divya Chakshu. So he said that you cannot see the Supreme Lord. You cannot see the Supreme Lord with your eyes. Why do you want to go here and there? Fix your mind in Samadhi, and naturally you see Bhagavan. And then when you see Bhagavan in your heart, you will personally see Bhagavan face to face. So then he says that how Vasudev is a presiding deity of consciousness, and there is no other way, only through a Vishuddha Sattva, the pure spiritual goodness, in your Samadhi Dasha, you will able to see the Supreme Lord. But then Gopakumara argues that perceiving Sri Bhagavan in the heart is only the meditation, that you just sit and you meditate upon the Supreme Lord. It cannot be considered the same as taking darshan of him through your eyes. Like Vinita Gandharvika Mataji said, I want to see the Supreme Lord through my eyes. So how can you compare having darshan of the Lord in front of you and just meditating on the Lord? It's very different. But Pipalayana Rishi says, do not think. I've quoted this Brihad Bhagavatamrita verses also for all of your reference, but I've not quoted the Sanskrit verses to save time. So he says, do not think that the meditation is the only activity of the mind. Mind does lot of activities. Actually, it is the mind that facilitates the direct vision of Sri Hari through the eyes. This is because when Bhagavan manifests in one's heart, the mind can do nothing but only to think of him. So eyes actually see through the faculty of the mind. Now, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, I know in your personal experience, you must have told Vrinda to find something in the home, and Vrinda, you know where it is, and Vrinda goes and searches and says, Mama, I cannot find anything. Where it is? And then you go and you tell Vrinda, see, here it is. Then Vrinda is perplexed. How come I was not able to see? And then Vinita Gandharvika Mataji will tell Vrinda, you were not able to see because your mind was not aligned with your eyes.
Correct.
Does it happen, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, so many times.
So many times. It's the natural thing of parenting. You tell them, see with your mind. Let your mind be aligned with your eyes. Only then you will be seeing. So our eyes can see, but our eyes can see and perceive only because of the mind. Mana shashtani indriyani. Mana is the topmost of all the senses. You cannot see a thing if your mind is not aligned to it. This is actually, unfortunately, this is a kind of a mental disorder. If somebody is suffering through that, even though they have the eyes, even they can see the things, but they cannot perceive the things. Eyes is only an organ. The perception of the thing is perceived in the back of the mind, because of which you see the things. And the same thing, Pipalayana Muni is saying, that actually one see only through the faculty of the mind. If mind is not there, even though eyes are there, you cannot see because your mind is not aligned. Okay, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, do you think a blind man can see Krishna?
Yes, Mataji, there is a pastime, right?
There is a
Yeah,
past. The
pastime.
blind man can also see Krishna. Now you can say the blind man doesn't have eyes. Did Bilva Mangal Thakur have eyes? No. He himself poked those two pins in his eyes. But later, when Gopal came, he said, "Oh Gopal," and Gopal was running away, leaving the hand of Bilva Mangal Thakur. Bilva Mangal Thakur says, "Okay, Gopal, you can run away. You can take this advantage because I am blind. But you just move out from my heart. You are captured. You are encaged in the heart region of mine. From there, if you run, then I will understand that you are the real person and you can run away. But till the time, now you are just taking advantage of my blindness and you are leaving your hand and running away. But you run from my heart, then I will believe." So this is the challenging way. So even a blind man can see Krishna, because Krishna should be seen through eyes, but only through the faculty of mind, nowhere else. But then Gopakumara says, okay, I understand, but isn't it pleasurable to see Krishna with one's eyes? Of course it is pleasurable. But then Pipalayana Rishi says, when joy arises in the mind, all the senses automatically become pleased. And the function of the eyes and other senses are accomplished by the mind. If the mind is happy, all the senses are happy. So yes, we want to eat. The most palatable food is in front of us, but we are not happy. We are sad from inside. Maybe some dukkha has been imposed on us and we take it so deeply in our heart, even after understanding that this place is dukkhalayam, but because we are not on that elevated stage, maybe we may be feeling so much of sadness, so much of moroseness. And in that moroseness, if somebody places the most palatable dishes in front of you, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, would you like to be able to enjoy those dishes?
Yes, Mataji.
Still you will be able to enjoy. You are in your deep sorrowness. You are in your deep moroseness. Something has happened that which you are not able to come out of it. Still you will
No,
be
no,
able
no,
to
no,
enjoy.
no. Now I got you.
You
No,
will
no,
not.
no, no.
No, you
No.
will not be able to enjoy. Why? Why you cannot? Even only the tongue is enjoying, right? The tongue will experience the food. Then
Because
the
my
food is
heart and
good.
mind is not happy, Mataji.
Very good. Yes, though the tongue is experiencing that food, still you are not able to feel happy because your mind is not happy. So if the mind is happy, all the senses are happy. Therefore, Vipalayana Rishi is saying, O Gop Kumar, your mind should be aligned. If your mind is happy, if your mind is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, you are personally seeing Krishna. Without the mind's activity, the functions of the senses are futile. For as long as the mind does not experience the activities of the senses, they are never as if they are never performed. Like Vrinda was seeing through her eyes, but she was not able to locate an object because the mind was not aligned. Therefore, actual darshan of Sri Bhagavan takes place when he manifests in the supreme consciousness, the pure consciousness of the mind and the heart. But then Gopkumara says, what about Sri Dhruva and Sri Prahlad? They also saw Krishna. It is true that they saw, but that is because of the Bhakta Vatsalyata. That is about the special affection of his devotees that he appeared to their external eyes. Like we saw even for Prabhupada in Jaladuta. He saw Krishna face to face. He saw Krishna. But in his mind, in his consciousness, he saw that who is steering the wheel of that ship. It was not the captain, but it was all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord who were steering the wheel of that ship. So that he saw in his mind, in his consciousness. But yes, Krishna, out of sometimes special affection, do appeared in the external eyes of the devotees. However, he is really made visible only by the eyes of knowledge, jnana chakshu. Only by the compassion of Sri Bhagavan does the living entity feel that he has received darshan within his eyes. So Dhruva saw, Prahlad Maharaj saw, but Dhruva Maharaj saw only in 6 months. Lord Prishni Garbha, the Supreme Lord, appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj. But after that, Dhruva Maharaj reigned and finally he went to Golok Vrindavan. To Dhruva Loka, Vaikuntha planet. But it was the Lord affection, it was the Lord Bhakta Vatsalata feature, the energy of the Supreme Lord, because of which the Lord appeared in front of Dhruva and in the front of Prahlad Maharaj. But for Prahlad Maharaj, was it only that the Lord appeared in front of him? No. Before that, the Lord appeared in his mind, in his consciousness. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asked, okay, where is your Lord Vishnu? Prahlad Maharaj says, he is everywhere. He is everywhere. Why? Because in his mind, in his consciousness, he was perceiving that my Supreme Lord Vishnu is pervading everywhere. And when Hiranyakashipu asked, is he in this pillar? Then very boldly Prahlad says, yes, he is in this pillar too. And then because of the affection of his devotee Prahlad, then Namrigam Namanusham, the Supreme Lord Nrsingadev appeared. So even after Bhagwan disappears, the bliss of seeing him continues to radiate in one's mind in various forms. Although the eyes have seen the Lord, the joy of that vision belongs to the mind. Like Narad Muni. When Narad Muni, when he was in that stage, he was born as the son of the maidservant and he was meditating. The Lord appeared in his heart. But within one glimpse, the Lord disappeared. One glimpse, and the Lord was not seen. But because the Lord appeared in the heart, Narad Muni was longing to see that vision again and again. And Krishna told him that I disappeared so that your longingness should increase for me. Therefore, darshan of Bhagwan is achieved by the mind, which is matchless receptacle for experiencing the happiness of that vision. Now, someone may reason the eyes and that external senses are limited, but the mind is also limited. Because Vipalayana Rishi says that senses are actually limited. So you have to perceive the Lord in mind. But the mind is also limited because the mind is also a subtle organ, but it's a material organ. So how is it? Therefore, it is impossible for the mind also to see that unrestricted nature of Sri Bhagavan. Then he says, by the mercy of Sri Bhagavan, as the happiness within the mind caused by seeing him increase further and further, the mind also expands to the magnitude of that joy, because the mind is subtle. Rest of all the senses, they cannot expand like mind. My eyes cannot expand where I can know who is standing behind me. So all other senses cannot expand like mind, but the mind has this feature which can expand to the magnitude of the joy that one experiences after seeing Krishna. So therefore he says that you should perceive the Supreme Lord in the mind. And that is what is known as Antardarshan. Even in Brahma Samhita, Brahma prays, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. That you should appear in the region of my mind. Another is Mama Mana Mandire Rahanishidin Krishna Murari Shri Krishna Murari Mama Mana Mandir Mere man ke mandir mein prakat ho. Appear in the heart, in the temple of my heart. Antara Mandir Jago Jago Madhava Krishna Gopal. There are so many bhajans that have been written by these exalted Vaishnavas where they say that you have to see Krishna in your mind. Now, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, I'll come back to you and ask you, do you want to see Krishna through your eyes like Shishupal saw, Duryodhan saw, Karna saw? Or do you want to see Krishna in your mind?
Mataji, I will change my answer. I would like to see Krishna in my mind.
Yes, now you have changed. Now you want to see Krishna in your mind. After that, if Krishna is pleased, if your mind and your thoughts are 100% absorbed in Krishna and Krishna is pleased and shows his Bhakta Vatsalata nature, then Krishna can appear in us, in front of us. But that is solely upon Krishna's desire. But what we can aspire for, that Krishna, please at least appear in my mind. Because if my mind is 100% absorbed in your thoughts, then it is just like seeing you face to face. So therefore, manasya virastam. So this was the fourth verse. Now we will read this fourth verse because we have know the word and every word by word meaning of this verse, and now we can relish it more. Varam deva moksham na moksham vadim va na chanyam vareham vareshadapiha. Idam te vapurnath gopal balam sada mimanasya virastam kimanye. There is no other benediction. Lastly, he says, Kimanya, I don't want anything else, Krishna. Just your form of Balgopal should ever manifest in the region of my heart. So thank you all so much. We will stop here. Thank you for patiently listening and attending this session. And we will continue. I know Damodarashtakam, this month of Damodar has officially ended today, because we consider it from Purnima to Purnima. But there are still those who follow this month of Damodar, this month of Kartik, from Amavasya to Amavasya. So we have few more days, but Prabhupada used to say that this Damodar month is every day. Kartik month is every day for a devotee. Every sadhaka should consider every day as the day of Kartik month. With that mood, we should perform our sadhana. And holding on to that, we will also continue. We'll take 4 more weeks, 4 more Fridays. You all have to bear me, where we will discuss in detail rest of the 4 verses of this Damodarashtakam. So thank you all so much. We'll stop here. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Damodarashtakam ki jai, Satyavrat Muni ki jai. If we have any questions, we can take up.
Thank you, Mataji, for the beautiful, beautiful class. Very grateful to you, Mataji. So nicely explained that how we don't want anything except seeing the Lord in the heart and mind. That's the only desire. And you were explaining why he also the main point I really like, Mataji, that it's not that Lord is not able to give anything. He's able to give everything. He's capable to give everything, but I don't want anything. I only want to see him in my heart and mind. That's the only thing, that desire. And I like the example of Bilva Mangala Thakur, how he was saying to the Lord that, okay, if you are leaving my hand and moving around, that's fine. I will let you go, but then don't leave my mind, my heart. And then I have to, I may worried for that. That makes more sense for this verse. Understand more sense why Satyavarta Muni is mainly focusing that he wants the form in his heart and mind. Why he was talking about that. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very grateful to you. We have raised hands.
Grateful to Sanatan Goswami for his tika.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. We have raised hand. I think Preeti Vilasni Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Maybe she is busy in meetings.
Yeah. Okay. Param Bhavani Shama Mataji, please go ahead.
Mataji, I'll ask after Param Pavani.
Yeah. Param Bhavani Shama Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the opportunity. Thank you so much, Kritida Sundari Mataji, for wonderful explanation of this verse. Mataji, I have a question. Like, among all the senses, Krishna is the mind, right? As Krishna.
Very nice. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that of all the senses, I am mind. Yeah.
And that's like when I start chanting, my mind is the only culprit in there. And I pray to Krishna, "Oh, Krishna, you are the mind. Be fixed on your name only. What I can do."
Very nice, Mataji. Yeah. The uncontrolled mind is the biggest enemy, and the controlled mind is the best friend, Bhagavad Gita says.
And Krishna himself says he's the best friend of all the jivas. So why Krishna then, move here and there while we chant, like at least when I chant?
Because Krishna wants to see our determination. Krishna doesn't want us to love him by force. So Krishna says that through the energy of my Maya, I am giving you all these tests where your mind will run here and there. So you have to bring in control through your mind. And how the mind can be controlled? When the mind is under the guidance of intelligence. And what intelligence? That intelligence which is sharpened by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So your intelligence should be pure enough, because intelligence will further control the mind, will further control the senses, and then the chariot will be nicely placed. And by ride, that if you ride in that chariot, it will not be a bumpy ride. So when at that time when we chant, our chant will not be distracted chanting. So yes, Krishna says, of all the senses, I am the mind, and we can pray to Krishna, but we can only pray. But after all, the effort of controlling the mind lies in the hands of the sadhaka. So sadhaka should do it. We can pray to Lord Aniruddha in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Rudra Geet, when it is mentioned, the Rudra Geet, the verses that were spoken by Lord Shiva to Prachetas, that is celebrated as Rudra Geet. In that he says that the presiding deity of mind is Aniruddha. So yes, you can pray to Aniruddha. You can pray to Aniruddha before chanting your rounds. In that way, you can pray that your mind don't get distracted. But again, that lies into our hands, that how much we can control. So His Holiness Sachinandan Swami, when he was giving the retreat, on the Holy Name retreat, he said that the sincerity of the sadhana, of the sadhaka, because Krishna sees only our sincerity, whether we achieve success or we achieve failure. Krishna is not bothered about the results. He only sees our intensity. He only sees our endeavor. So Sachinand Maharaj was saying that the sincerity of the sadhaka lies how many times we bring our mind back into chanting. Because sometimes it happens we don't even realize that the mind has been distracted and our 16 rounds are done.
True, Mataji.
So how many times we realize that my mind was not there and we bring it back, we bring it back. So the number of times we bring it back shows the sincerity of a sadhaka.
True, Mataji. That gives a lots of like practical, like how I can see and realize my mind is going where during the chanting. Like as you mentioned, that how many times I'm bringing it back. Before that, I need to realize I'm away.
Before that you have to realize that you have to be, you are away, you are not and you are chanting.
Most of the time I don't even realize that, and I forgot that. Okay, it is 2 rounds done or like 3 rounds done. Then I okay, let's do on 2 more rounds today because I was not. Thank you so much, Mataji. Your explanations are so clarifying. Thank you so much.
It's all because of Sanatan Goswami. All glories to him. Okay, anyone else has anything to say?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for such a nice class. I was there only in the beginning and the ending. Unfortunately.
It's
Uh-huh.
okay.
Well, I heard, but when you started discussing about the mind, I just wanted to argue and fight with you. So,
Okay.
okay, what is all this mind, Mataji? Wow. But then why did Gopakumar even go further? He should have just stayed there.
I was expecting this question, but I will not answer it you right now because I will like you to hold on to this because this was the same question that was asked next, that why Gop Kumara didn't stay in Tapaloka then.
Yeah, just mind, na? Mind is everything.
Ah. He would have easily performed. He would have easily performed. And Sanatan Goswami is writing again and again about this Manavarashtitam because in the next verse also, in the next future, the 5th verse also, he will repeat, Satyavrat Muni will repeat that I want Manavarishtam, means I want you to manifest in the region of my heart. But he himself will say no.
Yes, because at the end of the day, you also mentioned that. You said mind is material. It just has an expansion property that doesn't make it spiritual.
So I don't want to speak out everything now.
Okay,
Hold on to it. But till now we'll understand. We'll go with the flow and how Sanatan Goswami is also supporting Satyavrat Muni's desire that let it be in mind and Krishna first appear in my mind. See if it, and it is true. It is nothing to argue about also.
It is true, but do we want that?
But even if our mind is not absorbed, and then what is the use? Because ultimately, in all our senses, the mind is the foremost, is the crown of everything.
It's also the most difficult, right? I can see the DT form, if I'm standing in front of Radha Madan Mohan, I can stare at the DT form for like say for 1 hour, 2 hours. I can hear Harikatha for 6 to 8 hours. I can chant maybe for 1.5 hours. I can use all these senses. Meditation, 1 second, right?
Yeah, meditation 1 second. But as you said, for 4 to 5 hours, you can stand in front of Madan Gopal and you can stare at him. But if your mind is absorbed in something else, then what is the use of staring Madan Gopal?
True. Yeah. So there is some value.
Of course, there is some value. That's why Satyam Muni is saying, if you can sit for Harikatha for 4 to 6 hours, you can sit and you can hear Harikatha. But if your mind is not in Harikatha, then what is the use?
True. I agree. Yeah.
So the mind has to be absorbed. Now, that's why Pipalayan Rishi said that meditation, don't think that meditation is only the work of mind. Actually, our mind has to be absorbed first. What is the use of those eyes if we don't see Krishna really? And because our mind is not absorbed, what is the use? You can stand in front of Radha Madan Mohan, you can stare at him, you can look at him. And as you are looking his dhoti and you are looking his belt and you are looking his earrings. And immediately your mind is remembering your earrings that you have to wear in the party today evening. what is the use?
Sad.
And also, Mataji, I just want to add here when in the discussion also you added that when you asked me the question, like how Shishupal was seeing, Kamsa was seeing Krishna. So there was no use for them to see Krishna because they are not observed in Krishna consciousness. I mean, their mind and was not observed in Krishna. They did not know the glories of Krishna in their heart and mind. If you don't understand that, then how can they see Krishna? Actually, they are not able to see Krishna.
I'm not seeing
Yeah.
Krishna. So
Okay.
that perception
Stay
should come in
tuned.
the mind.
I'm not buying the idea fully till we stay tuned for the next session.
Not even next, because next also will say the same. After that, you have to.
Okay, Mataji. I'm looking forward, really looking forward. I like the way you're building up the case. Thank you.
So actually, it's Satyavrat Muni who is building up the case for us.
Yeah, but also we need somebody to convey it in his mood, right? So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. There are a lot of realizations here. Harita Mataji and Parambhavani Shama Mataji. Everybody is appreciating the class, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you, Mataji. We'll look forward for the next Friday. As you said, Karthik is not done. For me, Karthik means I only used to follow the Amavasya thing, what you are telling. My parents always do that. So I always do that only, Mataji. After coming to Krishna conscious only, they say, Karthik starts before Diwali. How come it starts before Diwali? For us, Karthik starts the Diwali day. Yeah, after Diwali, next day. Yeah, next day of Diwali. That's how we do. So I was like more confused. Even I was not able to explain my parents, but then later I understood what's the difference. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare
We are very grateful.
Mataji, there is only one difference, that for devotees every day is Kartik.
Yeah, so true, Mataji. Like if you see what do you do in Kartika, if the minimum things that they say is like we are already doing it every day. It's the only thing is, as it says, it's a sale. We need to give her 100% in what we are doing for a devotee. Yes, we are doing it and increase a little bit as possible. That's what Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj has emphasized. This is not for us. It's more for the new people who are coming in. Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very grateful to you. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas on the
Vinita
call.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I was waiting for people to finish speaking. So just to thank Mataji, I didn't type. Thank you so much, Mataji. And never again can I chant this particular verse without immediately the concept of mind jumping to my mind. I think the moment we come to the Manasya Virastam, I'm sure it's you who's going to come to mind, Mataji. And I'm also using so much mind here. But as you said, the mind is what does everything. And thank you so much, Mataji. This words, it is not even one line, it is part of one line. And so much you've spoken about it. So I was just wondering how it's possible to say so much about the mind. I just thought mind cannot be controlled, Chanchalam, Himana, Krishna and all, and it needs to be channelized, and how it's also one of the material organs. That's all one can say about the mind. That's what I was thinking. But then you've opened up such a great vista of the mind. And thank you for the class after class also. Mataji's question was so nice. In that it got a beautiful answer from you. Thank you all for that, Mataji. And I'm waiting for the Clash of the Titans, Mataji. When is that going to be?
Clash of
the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. It will come.
You versus Preeti Mataji. She was saying she's still not convinced. So you said, please wait, there's more to come. So eagerly awaiting that, Mataji.
Sixth verse probably will be an eye-opener.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vinita Mataji. Sorry for taking up more time.
One thing, Sumi Mataji, as you said, that after today's class, when you hear this word and Manasya Virastam word will come, then you will keep me in your mind. So I humbly request you, please don't keep me.
No, your words, Mataji.
No,
Your
no, no.
words.
Don't keep my words also, because
No.
these words are not mine. These are the
Yes.
words of
Yeah,
Srila
you have
Swami.
repeatedly told that we have to think about Satyavrutamani.
Think
We have
about
to be
Sanatana.
thankful to Sanatan Goswami.
Yeah.
You have been saying that again and again during this class. So that
Yes.
is also there in my mind.
Yeah, that
True.
should be only and only Krishna should be there, or his parshads, because Sanatan Goswami is none other than the Lavanga Manjari, who is always engaged in the service of Lord Shri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So yes, only
Yes, Mataji.
that should always prevail in our mind. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Okay, dear devotees.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very
Wish you
grateful
all
to
a
you.
very, very happy Kartik Purnima. And hopefully you all were able to keep up to your vows, because that's what this month of Kartik is. So we'll stop
Hare
here.
Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हाँ ग्रेस कीर्तिदा सुंदरी माता जी की जय।
Jai. Thank you. Thank you, Manshna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।